Chris Akrigg has got a brand new video out, Hard Enduro, and that is something to celebrate. And Chris's riding, it's something of a paradox. He's a certain rider with a certain set of skills, but skills that we don't all possess. He's got this majestic skill of hiding unbelievable riding in plain sight. And if you're not watching closely, you might miss it. And that's a really unique skill. He makes the very, very difficult look easy. So how hard is hard? Sometimes it's difficult to tell. Luckily, we've got him to ask, so let's find out. Chris, first off, before I say anything else, Hard Enduro, it's one of my favourites. It's beautiful, it's aggressive, the pace of it, oh my God, it's so good. The roar, that's really different for you.
Yeah.
You've hit the nail on the head.
Thank you very much, Martyn.
Banger.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, are you happy with it?
Yeah, as much as that. Yeah, I'm happy with it. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Like, I think like we got the the brief, so to speak. We put our own brief on our heads, so it was like we tried to keep along that sort of hard enduro vibe, and I think we've sort of got there. I feel like the riding's hard enough that I'm happy with.
I don't think you're going to know the answer to this either.
I ride bikes, Mark.
And the people out there are going to be amazed, right? What was the base setting for this video on that bike?
The base setting?
How did you set it up? What was your base? Right, I'll start with this base setting and go from there. What was it?
Yeah.
What was the suspension tune?
Oh, it was lovely.
What would, in a video, make you change some of the settings? So the other day I was watching you and you just took a bit of air out the fork, banged it on the ground and seemed happier with it. Yeah. What would make you make that change? Just, it's a feeling, or you're like, oh, I know what I need here, and... It probably boils down to if I'm struggling with a certain line. Yeah. Like that tombstone out of the river. Yeah. On this one in particular. Loved it.
If I run a super soft setting on that, I was hitting that step so hard that I just needed a little bit more security with the fork. So I did put a little bit more, and probably put a bit more in for that. And then sometimes I'll be if it's dropping or several things, maybe I'll just adjust the rebound a little bit. But generally speaking, I don't normally touch it. I like to just jump on it, and it might just be even tyre pressure. Sometimes I'll be going through a day and I'll just keep dropping the pressure, and I'll get it on the next day and just think, God, what was I doing yesterday? The tyres are soft as anything. Yeah. And then I pump them up and then start riding and let them straight back down. I'm just mental like that, I guess. But
just got to get there. Got to get to where it feels nice, and that's it.
Yeah. It's probably because they've just been burping because I've been hitting it so hard.
Yeah.
But anyway.
You do hit some of them rocks bloody hard. How long, Hard Enduro is a really great video that must have taken a lot more time than it does to watch it. How long does a project like that take? Let's go from when you think of the idea. Yeah. How long do you process the idea until it's yep, it's a thing I'm going to do, and then how long does the next bit take to make it?
Yeah, that idea had sort of been bubbling away in my mind just because I watched quite a lot of Hard Enduro, and I quite like that. It just boils down to people having fun on the bikes. When you watch especially Instagram videos of Hard Enduro riders, and there's a lot of good riders out there. Nothing's really off limits, it's just having fun, but obviously there's certain things in the video that sort of Hard Enduro. But to answer your question, it's this time out, it was more trying to find the windows of the weather to do it, because UK, it's been exceptionally terrible this year. Yeah. And it's between Will Evans, my filmer, and myself, trying to get that window. It's just been a nightmare, because if you get together and Will's is in Wales and it's 4-hour drive, he comes up and it's pissing it down, and you're not getting anything done really. It's not that I don't like riding in the wet, because a lot of it is in the wet in the video, but some of the stuff's just really hard to film because you're just constantly it's just a nightmare, because you're constantly getting cameras wet, everything's wet, and it's not because personally I don't like getting wet. I live in Yorkshire, I get wet every time I go riding. But yeah, I think shooting days, like wrecking aside, probably like 4, 5 max. Some long days, but some like, the thing is with it.
That's a surprise to me.
Yeah.
I thought you'd say more, but then I guess for the video to have energy, you can't really string it out over too long. What was the line in the video that beat you up? What was the one that gave you a hard time? Because there's some lines in there that are unbelievable to watch. They're amazing.
The funniest line with the story, I guess, that was sort of like we spoke about yesterday, and it was the last line, the last climb. Like, you know, turn around. I had to change gear halfway through and like tried to keep that. I don't like, you know, like showing these things, but like, you know, there was a gear change in there. You'll be able to find it if you watch the video. It's pretty obvious if you see it, but not as well. It turns out that I'd done that line really early on, from top to bottom.
Right.
From bottom to top, sorry. And I was like, kept going and going and going. Will's like, what are you doing? I'm just like, I really want to get a really nice one, top to bottom.
Yeah.
We got a cutaway, and like I said, we could have made it. How it looks in the video, it looks, the end one's a drone shot.
Yeah.
And it sort of masked the end bit, which I wasn't getting.
Yeah.
Every time I was messing it up, and I was like so tired, and I was like getting so frustrated. And
but you'd already got it.
I went home that night, and I was so dejected. I was like, like, you know, it really, like, you know yourself when you've done projects. It's like I felt miserable. I'm like, didn't get a line today, and I really wanted it, but I'd be like, I wouldn't put it in. Like, I wouldn't put it in. Will knows that, and I'm just like, I wish we'd have got that. It's like, you nutter, we got your second go. And I'm like, no, he didn't. He showed me, and I'm just like, oh God, I'm a mentalist.
Yeah, that is crazy actually, because that's just
it was like
memory giving you torture.
I was like that, man, running around the kitchen going, you got it!
How do you go with white, and you look so happy on the bike, which is fantastic, and I think we're seeing some, you know, a real purple patch for Chris. It's an orange patch, let's face it, but a real glory moment for your riding, because I think you're settling into e-bikes so well and really demonstrating what they can do. How do you go into white, and so what's the elevator pitch for a video like Hard Enduro? Like, I'd like to go and ride in a big muddy puddle. How do you tell them? How do you tell them you're about to go and spend their money on that? It was well spent, but you got to sell it to start.
I mean, I have got sort of track record, so like, you know, yeah, it was a bit of a funny one actually, because I said, oh, I've got a location. And I sent like a couple of locations, and just like, doesn't look that great. Yeah. I'm like, no, trust me, it's really cool. Like when you see it, like in my head, I'm just like, yeah, you know, like the Parkwood Off-Road Centre in Tong. Yeah. They were good enough to let us go in there, where, you know, they have a good hard enduro race, and I just thought that is the perfect place. And so yeah, we went in there, and like the first day was just so cool. Just like we just ticked off so much stuff. The thing is with that, we had a really good first day. Yeah. The second day we went to a different location, got nothing. So
it's okay, Matt. It's fine. It's going.
Everything's going well. Everything's going well. But that's how it is, you know. Some days you can go out one day and you get nothing, and then another day you just have a really good day. It's not because you're riding good or bad. It's just, you know, you find stuff, and it's just.
Are you on the the Danny Mac radar of I did it 498 times, or is there a point where you just go, this ain't happening, I'm dropping it, or?
Yeah, I get into battles, and like a lot of time I just go, we don't need to get into a battle today, and first thing we'll just get into a battle. You know, but I'm not shy, but I'm a lot better now at just thinking, do you know what, it's not worth it today. Yeah. But actually, no, I just no.
Yeah, that wasn't what you just did a minute ago.
If you know you can do it. Yeah. It's not about it. It becomes more of not about the video. It's not about that. It's about what I need to be able to do it, because it's in my head now, and I want to do it how I want to do it. Yeah. And you know, you can do something, and you can do something. Yeah. And there's a difference. Yeah.
But I think there's a really interesting bit in Hard Enduro where you're coming up through that real craggy stream where you get proper stuck. Yeah. And I sort of feel like I'm so glad you left it in. Yeah. And I know that we'll have to talk you into it. Yeah. Because I know you'll be thinking, I want to do that smoother. But it's one bit where you can actually see how hard it is. I mean, I think that's quite brave for you to leave that in, because that's not necessarily your style.
yeah, Will did have to talk me into leaving it in. I wasn't that keen. I'd have probably just carried on going. Like, I mean, it was the thing is, I was done that day. We'd done quite a lot, and I was like, I knew that I'd sort of had my best chances. It was really, really hard, and people that know that bit will, if they've ridden there or they've been to spectate there at this, you know. It is quite one of the like more iconic bits of that
Actually,
venue.
Matt behind the camera knows it well, and he couldn't believe it when he saw it. He couldn't believe it.
Yeah, so like the run up for a push bike there is pretty non-existent because you just can't really get pedals in. And when you're in that groove, basically your back wheel and your front wheel meet rocks at the same time, so like a double sort of step.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, if I went there with fresh head on and had a, you know, a go at it, I'd probably. I know that I had a better one in me, let's say, but on that bike, on that day, that was the best I could do, and I think it sort of shows, you know, how hard it really is. And it's a struggle, and it's hard enduro. That's what that was. That's what in my head I had to. That's what they do.
Yeah, they do. They do. They battle their ways up things and just keep going. And I think one of the things about that moment is that you just appreciate the toughness and, you know, how hard it really is. So an idea has just struck me as you're telling me about, you know, you wanted it to look like hard enduro. Have you ever even done an enduro?
I've been to watch one. No. It was really cool. We didn't stay long. The burger was all right.
Yeah.
No.
That's just what you think it is.
Well,
Billy Bolt's going to watch that, you know it, don't you?
Well, I've seen it on telly.
What's he going to think?
Well, I've seen it on telly.
Classic. Anyone out there with a motorbike, let's get him one sorted so we can put him through a hard enduro. Let's try that.
I was thinking about it. It looks really good fun.
I mean, you must have had Billy Bolt, Jarvis in your head when you were doing this video. What are the riders? Because I know you don't necessarily focus on the riders who do the kind of discipline you do that much. So who is it you're watching?
I mean, obviously Billy's all over, and he's like, you can't help but see him. I've never met him. But like the stuff that he does is such a good rider, and obviously like he's a, trials rider background, which I am.
It's always the trials riders, guys.
Well,
it's always the trials guys.
Well, it's one of them, isn't it? Yeah. I can't really do jumps. I hold my hand up. I'm at them, but the technical stuff is really good fun.
I'm wicked at jumps.
Oh,
go on, say I'm not.
There's just a handful of things that I watch, and it's just all the higher enduro stuff, the Red Bull Series stuff. It's all good, isn't it? It's just that's what it's just. At the moment, it's like hot property, isn't it? It's like it seems to be really like thriving. You know? And it's definitely something that I'd probably like to have a go at. Yeah,
I'd love to see you trying it. Why? And I think this is a bold decision. Why raw? Why did you go raw? I love that it's raw. But why? What?
Probably because we've just never done it.
Yeah.
And we were just looking at it and thought, oh yeah, it actually sounds really cool because the becks and the noise of the bike and stuff and the protesting noises of the bike, trying to fit them in certain places where they shouldn't be, but mine.
Well, I tell you what, I loved it. There's some gems in there. The rock slide around the tree. Oh, so good. The tombstone is amazing. If I'm honest, it sometimes is the simplest things, but the way you rail that berm in the mud is like, to come out online like that, I really appreciated it, because if I tried to do that, it would never, ever have happened in a million years. So I just think, it's not the biggest moment, but it's certainly a very pretty one, and it looks great. So the berm, but I liked it all. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
The logs, I like to cross the logs. It's tricky. Berm, I like the berm.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about yourself? Did you have do you have got a favourite bit?
Well, the funny thing about the berm, I'm useless at riding berms. That was one of the most frustrating things to do. Because I ate it first time, I just did it really nice. And was like, oh yeah, we'll just do that. Yeah, we'll film it.
Yeah, can do it.
And then I can do it then. We were just bashing away forever. I'm just like thinking, I'm going to go around this berm all day, and there's actually different stuff but the stuff that I'm good at is all the, the other stuff. But I think the one that I wanted to get that people probably won't think is like the double step.
Yeah.
And that for me is like, because there's a lot of it's my sort of timing and all that jazz. To get that, I probably didn't get it just how I wanted it, but it was close enough that I'd take it. So that was, that took a couple of goes to get right.
What's a couple of goes? Because a couple doesn't mean two, does it?
Probably, not mental amount of times. I had a good crash on it though.
Yeah.
A really good crash on that, which I thought was good. It went really bad. Maybe, I don't know, probably, I want to say 30, but it might not have been. Somewhere around that mark. Yeah. It's hard to say, isn't it?
30?
Yeah, somewhere
What, a couple means 30? What's a lot?
Well,
if you say, oh, it took a lot, what's that?
Well, 20, 30, maybe that. I don't know. Maybe Jesus. 20, I don't know. Like, who knows?
Yeah.
I'd sort of get into the zone and don't know, really, to be honest. It's,
Folks, EMBN video here. Think about that when you're watching it. How many times each bit took? Oh, the labour, the hard work these guys go through for people like you out there. And me, I guess. Yeah.
One of the more frustrating lines that sort of I did really sort of early, I think that I could just do it really easily, but it turned out to be a really frustrating line. Was like, the up onto the rock, down onto the beam.
Let the rock.
Yeah, and then it dropped back, come back onto it, which is really difficult.
Yeah, it's lovely, that.
And then go, and then it was really funny because I think I caught Will on the sort of, for want of a better term, on the back foot.
Yeah.
But we'd not done the line in total and gone through it. He went backwards. As I was coming towards him, I jumped off as I was looking outside of my eye. He was like going backwards. And I'm thinking, I've just done this. And he's messing around, falling around, lying on the floor. And I just got out shot and just going like we've just done it. And I'm like, Will, I'm not doing it again. Tell me we got it. And he's just like, I think we got away with it. And he's
brilliant. It's a good moment to keep in.
Yeah. So, that was.
Oh, the jokes. Oh, dear.
And sometimes that's how it happens.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I'll be trying something for a million goes. And then Will's like bang on, and then the go that I get, Will's like, I didn't press record, Chris.
Oh, that's the worst. So you make the hard look easy. You go out of your way to almost do that, right? Do you do that in life generally? Like if your wife says, I want a cup of tea, you go, yeah, hang on a second, but I think I can make it from over here.
Nah.
Like, no, I've got to throw the tea bag in the cup.
Do you know
We're not having it until the tea bag's gone in the cup.
Do you know what I do when I get tea bags out? Tea bags are a rear cup size over there. Guess what I do every time I get a tea bag?
Try and throw them in. Yeah. So you do?
Yeah.
You do. How'd you put your coat on?
Yeah.
But you like throw it up in there and try and wait for it to come down.
No, I stand upside down.
Right, serious question to end on, right? Because I don't know what I think about this, but are the days of the big video edit, with Hard Enduro just come out and the quality of it and how good it is, I would hope that the days are still blossoming for those videos. But do you feel like that moment's gone a little bit? Has something shifted? And I think maybe through short videos, like shorts and reels, has that changed the way you think about videos now? Or are you just like, no, I want to do a video and then the world can do what they want with it?
I don't even begin to try to think that I can understand any of what's going on at the moment.
Thank God.
I enjoy making sort of like, the style of video that I make, we make, whoever's working with me, Will Evans normally filming. I like just doing that because I like I like going out there, finding stuff to ride, doing it. That's really nice. For me, it's like, I don't know, it's like cathartic, I don't know.
Yeah.
But the thing about that is you can just chop that up as many times as you want and use it on Instagram, do this, do that, So it's a sort of, if you wanted to, you could just say, well, it's a vehicle to get a load of footage that's good to use on Instagram. But like, I like to have that document that I've gone out and done that. And I feel like that's I don't know, I just enjoy the process.
Yeah.
And that's...
Well, long may it continue, Christopher. Nice one. Hard Enduro, absolute banger. If you haven't watched it yet, what you're doing, you've just seen all the behind-the-scene clips and some of the great moments. Go and watch the full thing in its entirety. And you go and get your bike.